Hello folks, but Brew with you again. Our Nipples is normally at the mic. So this is round 3 of the regular standard event a while ago. I think that was a weekend, Friday after the Providence slash Kuala Lumpur weekend. So that's just an FNM. So that's round 3. You can watch already round 1 against Black Green Delirium in the previous video. So it's just me piloting again here with Blue White Flash tempo deck. This time around I'm paired against at the last round of the FNM against Jeskai control. So just 3 rounds because yeah, small stir FNM. But it was a pretty comfortable ground for me to playtest the deck before next day's PPTQ in another town. Also in standard with the same deck, though I think I've made some changes after that FNM to the deck, so it wasn't exactly like the same build. So just to remind you guys, the main differences between this version of Blue White against the stock list is probably 2 Talias and 1 Deep Fiend main, and 25 lands with 2 Abyss in it, and the sideboard features a couple of Fumigates, Flagship, Current and Field, and no Fragmentize because I'm just a casual FNM, so I didn't expect a lot of tire decks there. But yeah, played against Black Green Delirium, and on the in round 1 and round 2 was against some casual deck though, some Rogu stuff, but round 3 against Jeskai control, and that's pretty much the build of Carlos Romao from the Pro Tour, so I think it's roughly his deck list with just, I think just a couple of changes. I think there is one Dynavolt Tower main deck, which actually later became a trend for Jeskai. In fact, because that's the deck with a huge amount of spells and only a few non-instant, non-sorcery spells in the deck. The tower is a pretty solid win condition for the deck. So I'm mulligan down to 6 here. So you see me with a couple of Quellers, Avison, and Freelance, which is probably okay starting hand, considering that I actually know that I'm up against Jeskai. So I'm fine keeping Freelance and now turn 1, turn 2 place, even though I wouldn't mind them. Picking up Reflector, which is pretty sad on this matchup. Actually, Spellqueller is not like absurd in this matchup, to be fair, but it's worse than Spellqueller, that's for sure. So yeah, so he goes for Anticipate on the turn, which is fine. So his lands are the Blue-Red Fastland and the Ephemeral. So no white mana just yet. And then his sweepers in the deck, I think, are 2 Radiant Flames and 2 Fumigates main. And of course extras in the sideboard. So I do hit my lands. I'm not sure, maybe it was Abby, actually, and not Tabassin in my hand. Not entirely sure, because it's the same checklist, and I wish I would mark them properly. So he just passed a turn on turn 4 without playing anything, so I flashed in a Spell Queller, because, well, I need to start doing stuff sooner or later. And yeah, it's not spectacular play, but it's something. Plus now I can actually counter something with the second Spell Queller if he does something at the end of my turn, and now I have 2 clocks. Because if he fumigates here, I'm totally screwed. Energy Hub. Now he actually has all mana in the world in all combinations. No Hulk coming up yet, which is alright. But yeah. He goes for Galvanic Bombardment and 1 Spell Queller, so that the second one can actually kill the one hiding Strike of Genius, or whatever that card is called, the draw 2 with 2 energy and scry 2. So he casts 2 of them now. And the funny part is that he's gonna cast the third one so that he can actually finish off this first spell queller. It's kind of weird, but I guess it's alright because bombardments are not particularly amazing in this matchup. They're okay. But yeah, it's pretty sad that he had to actually use all 3 there and kind of tap out so that I can actually resolve Gideon. Even though I think that build ran some negates in the main deck, but I'm not sure. But no void shatters and other things like that, so use that window to land Gideon. No land number 6 for him, so no Hulk yet, which is a big relief. Some more tokens with the Gideon, because why not? Because then if he taps out, I don't know, for Hulk for example, I can maybe make an Abbey Demon. I don't remember what's the actual demon is called. Anyways, so slowly chipping at him. And yeah, I can start making human monks or whatever with the Abbey at the end of the turn. And then if he actually tries to play a sweeper, I can then maybe go for the demon. Some more lands for me, which is not exciting. I have a copper now, but I don't feel like I should play it just yet. I have a reflector that doesn't really do anything. That's annoying, but I have some board presence, and he's stuck on 5 lands, which is kind of sad for him, I guess. Because I'm pretty sure he would love to play a Hulk here. But I will be sort of ready because I can like flash an Avacyn then. I believe that I have one in my hand there. Okay, so I kind of feel safe to plus Gideon here, even though I think I should have made the token for the Abbey purposes. But then again, I can end of turn make a 1-1 and then on my turn make a 2-2. Okay, so I went for 2-2 instead of animating Gideon. It's probably a safe play. So he goes for lightning onto one of the tokens. And I gotta feel great here, I think. I was very fortunate to actually resolve this Gideon here. But I think he had to tap out low with bombardment so that he can actually cast that draw spell, so in order to get to all those lands, etc. So it goes for lightning onto another token. Yeah, this is just really great for me. Although Hulk into Genius can reload him, but then I think it's a bit too late. So make another 1-1 with the Abbey at his end of turn. So he hit land number 6, so there could be a Hulk coming down. But for some ridiculous unknown reason, he decides to go for the Hulk and to draw 2, flashing back that spell at his own end. And that is kind of ridiculous. I guess he was fearing some main deck counter spells, but outside of spell quellers, the stock lists don't really run any counters. The lists that do, most of the time it's just a negate that doesn't counter the Hulk. But it's just now that some decks actually started to even play some copies of Shrivel main deck. And okay, later on after this weekend I started to play like with Revolutionary Buff's main deck. But still, that just shows you how important it is to know the lists of the major decks in the format to know what to play around. Because that play was pretty bad, I would say. Actually that gave me a reasonable situation to actually cast the reflector. I know he could have like mass removal here, but I actually don't really mind that much. So I just like played out my hands with the inspector and the copter, etc. I think still with Avacyn in my hand. The thing is that if he taps out for Fumigate here, I actually don't care all that much. Plus he's at 6, and even though he's gonna gain a bunch of life, but I'm gonna put him at nearly little next turn by simply, making a token with the Abbey, crewing up Copter, and animating Gideon. That's 8 damage right there. So if he Fumigates here, he gains, what is it, 5 life? Goes to 11, and then I crack back for 8, or I can just, stay with money untapped for some surprises. But yeah, if he would just like cast random spells and not a sweeper here, then I threaten just keeping a mana untapped and threatening in the Abbey in response to a sweeper, and that would be a blowout as well. So yeah, basically, if you kind of seize the windows of opportunity and just know it's also in your opponent's deck and Jeskai control, then you can really sequence things in the most efficient manner. Tali's quite alright in this matchup. He has a lot of non-basics, and slowing him down for a turn is amazing. So this missile is not super exciting against him, but okay. He doesn't have miracles and stuff like that, and Hulk triggers when it enters, not when it's cast. But anyway, it's just a spare counter. So reflectors go out, so extra counters go in, chases go in. I don't really need that much spot removal either. I think I took out a stasis snares, one stasis snare, and so kept 2 in, and I think I took out the 2 main deck Declaration Stone because the sorcery. 2 snares are fine because of the Hulks. They're instant and just preventing them from having a good block. And most likely when he goes for Hulk, he can just like flash pick some removal, but to interact with me, so the snare will likely resolve in that situation. But yeah, negates go in, revulse go in. I think I kept a deep feint in attack just because it's a big body and it can kind of time walk him as well. So yeah, why not? And it's an instant speed guy as well, so which is pretty relevant also. Not sure what matchup was that to the right of us, but let it not distract you that much. So I imagine he boards in some spot removal. I'm not sure. Does he want extra sweepers though? Because I can operate kind of on the flashy side, plus against Gideon, like sweepers are not amazing either. So I suppose he's not boarding that many in. He might board in extra counter spells, for example. Then I'm not sure if he wants bombardments in this matchup really all that much. They're okay, but also not amazing. I suppose after getting such a heavy beating from Gideon, he might not really want bombardment. I'm pretty sure he has his own blessed alliances in the sideboard, but against all the tokens, alliance is pretty mediocre, to say the least, if not horrible. I'm not sure if I brought in Quarantine Field. He probably brought in Fragmentize. most likely. And then Hulk is an instant speed threat. And then I don't think the deck actually plays that many removals. Plus, it's kind of a dead card early on in the game, which is not great. Spirits are alright in this matchup for obvious reasons. So yeah, this looks like a solid hand if I drew lands, and I drew 3 lands and Inspector, Spirits, and I think Spellqueller. This is kind of a perfect hand almost for this matchup. I would just want to draw like some counter spells again. I mean some more counters. Port Town, showing planes, Inspector Gadget, getting a clue, passing. Yeah. So one funny thing to notice now, while there's not much action going on, is that he actually brought in, I think, at least one of Ceremonious Rejection. That's the 1-mana counter for Carlos. One of the important parts of that card, not only it counters the Copter, but the very funny part about it is that it counters Shrivels or Void Shatters from my sideboard. Because they're both devoid spells, they're essentially colorless. So he can counter them with 1 mana. And it's a good counterspell that can also counter a Copter, which is pretty sick. I think bringing 1 off is okay. Especially since a lot of blue-white decks right now are having sideboards like up to 4 3-mana counters. I don't know if he brought in any of these spells, if he had any. Possibly. I'm not sure if I would bring in them in this matchup. Maybe like a one-off. The problem with this Jeskai control deck is like without Magic Origins Jace, how you're gonna loot. I can loot with the Copter at least, so I can kinda sculpt my hand in the most kind of efficient way. So you see me having a couple of status snares in my hand, which is not really ideal. And I play that tapped land, which is also not amazing, but again, in this matchup it's probably alright. Though if you would play something like a Dynavolt Tower here, that would be annoying. But he didn't play anything, just passed after playing tapped Funeral. I have a lot of gas in hand. I think I have a Negate as well. I can just keep on attacking with the Inspector, playing my lands, passing, and then, you know, for example, play end of turn Spellquellers, because I have a Negate up. Actually decide to go for Tally here. I don't think that's actually correct. But I guess he cannot really punish me that well here. Ah, plus I'm stuck on freelance, so yeah. Okay, got tracked by Radiant Flames here a little bit. Not really all that much, but oh well. Yeah, just passing the 10. I think it's not Abby, it's a couple Avacynths in my hand. Just kinda annoying, but like I can live with that. I have stuff to play still. He's not doing all that much. Spellqueller resolved, so there is probably no reason to counter that. He can always go like Hulk into Harness Lightning or something, or Radiant Flames. Inspector, so that I can pro draw, so I get a clue with Inspector, but not cracking it now because I see it on Negate here, which could be potent. 3 mana, he goes for another Radiant Flames. I guess it's a fine opportunity to negate that, because I would want some other counter for the Hulk, like the Shrivel. He counters back with his own negate, I believe. So he clears up those 2 guys, which is okay. I think I can play this Attrition War. He is just down to 2 cards in hand. It's insane. Okay, I hit land number 4. It's Port Town, it's tapped, but that's alright. I have a clue to potentially hit land number 5. And then I can start kind of checking his hand with Avacynths at the end of turn. So yeah, he's getting really flooded here. So 3 cards in hand, but like just passing the turn. End of turn Avison, just to kind of like see what's up. So Void Shatter, well, so be it. One hard counter out of the picture. Draw Gideon, which is interesting, but on 5 lands I shouldn't play because I hit another negate. Once I hit land number 6, I can Gideon negate. So another check-in of his hand with the end of turn Avison. I think it results. So he's just with 2 cards in hand, which is pretty good for me, I guess. Okay, so he uses the separate... okay, so it didn't resolve yet. So it was Hulk into White Shatter. Sorry for that. But I still kind of made him to tap out. I can Stasis Snare his guy and still keep up negates. Although another Hulk off the top would be very annoying here. But he's just passing the turn. Land number 6, so now I can go get in with negate up. He goes for this stroke, so draws 2. I could counter that, but it's much rather behave like Carlos Mao, so let them like draw their cards and just counter the stuff that matters. So he's cried, he drew 2. And let's see. Okay, anticipate, so he's hoping to draw into some counter. So he's just checking how to tap correctly. I think that was a misstep, because he could have drawn into White Shatter and he tapped out of double blue. I don't think he had to go like that. So I negated back his negate, so Gideon resolved, produced to the token, and yeah, so he needs to answer it. He has the funeral, but it's not getting through. I have a dismissal in hand, another Gideon Inspector, and the Stasis Snare for the next Hulk. He's at 15. Plus Gideon is just a much faster clock, and I'm not fearing the Hulk here, really. Though I can't snare and dismissal in the same turn. So that's why I go for the Inspector to get a clue. He goes for another strike. I'll let it resolve, because whatever. I just need to counter his threats or removal. His draws aren't fantastic, but mine are pretty good, I guess, after being stuck on 3 lands for a while. Because if he would have hit like a couple Hulks in that meantime, that'll be annoying, but now with 6 lands and so many things going on, it's really hard. And I'm basically outvaluing him because he drew a few more lands than I did. And all his card draw is actually not really giving him enough of action. And last turn I just drew a Shrivel. So, yeah. And this is one of the rare times when Void Shader is better than the Shrivel. When your opponent can't actually pay for the Hulk. So I decide to go for Dismissal. If he counters back, then I'm like, okay, fine. Gideon is still a good clock, because I have a Stasis Snare in hand. Okay, he Void Shatter from hand for the Hulk. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Dismissal goes to exile. And I don't play dismissals anymore. Because it's 4 mana and Shrivel still answers most of the stuff. Or Void Shatter, for example. And like sometimes even if they get to control our turn with Emrakul, things like that, it doesn't guarantee them a win in the game. So yeah, the Hulk was end of turn, yeah. So, but next turn I have Void Shatter going. Has now picked up quite a few cards in hand. So he goes for Chase. So actually Carrington Field could have been fun here. Possibly because he maybe would have expected me to take out Stasis Snares, I don't know. Well, it's a long grinding match, so Chase is perfectly fine. So yeah, Carrington Field would have been pretty good, I think, in this game. Because he brought Chases, and then I can field the Hulk, etc. And especially against current builds of Jeskai control with towers and stuff, and I think sometimes they even play like Thing and Dice. I think, I'm not exactly sure. So attempting a Stasis Snare on his Hulk. He's gonna try to counter that back with 3-mana hard counter. I'm gonna shrivel that. And now the blowout happens with the ceremonious rejection on my shrivel. I'm like, holy moly. First time that actually hit me. That's a thing. See, Hulk is still there. That's not cool, of course. I'm now starting to flutter a little bit. So it's catching up with me. So his Jace is gonna really start restocking his hand. That's a bit annoying, but I'm still not out of this game. And I have a backup Gideon, which is not amazing here, but okay. It's just in the event of, I don't know, Radiant Flames attack my Gideon, something like this. So I would still have something going on. So yeah, I just made another token and passed. Yeah, Radiant Flames would be pretty sick here. But I think they're gone, or he just doesn't have it. Okay, that's, I believe, Weaver of Lightning. Which is nasty, but not that absurd. Yeah, he activated Jace. I think he pushed it to the bottom. So I could Emblem with the first Gideon and then play second one and make a token. But I think I just passed. Or I just considered, I don't know. Yeah, I think I just I considered because I didn't want to spend so much time, and with me, yeah, he had another Hulk in hand or something. See, on to game 3 for this match. If I wouldn't have like started to flood that much, so would have been a different story. And then if I would have drawn something like Carrington Fields, maybe like it would be a different story as well. But he had a Hulk that could flash back another counterspell for the field. But if I would have, let's say, provoked him to do that for something else, like this second Gideon here, and then let's say I would draw the field and then get rid of both Hulks and Chase at least. I think I would have had enough mana for that. Okay, for 3 permanents I would need 8 mana. I think I was getting close to 8 mana. Weaver of Lightning wouldn't have been like that bad actually. But yeah, it's a very fine card in this matchup. Blocks everything. But there is always such a thing as, for example, emblem so that even your spell queller can attack through Weaver. Just saying. So there are ways apart from spot removal encounters. I'm on the play here. That is awesome. No inspector yet, but I have lands, I have counters, I have some other cheap cards, so I'm feeling pretty good about this game. So he played a hub and passed, I played number 3 and passed. I think I have a Queller in hand, Copter and stuff. So Copter end of turn just to start doing things. Now I can probably smash for 2, play a Copter with negate backup, and then maybe next turn start looting and chipping away. So that's a negate, and that's a negate on negate. So Copter resolves. I think it's actually important to get it going so that I don't flat out and keep the action coming. Inspector is a pretty good draw here, but I don't know why I played out this way here. I should have played Inspector and crewed up the Copter, so this is more damage. So this is why I had an Evison, which I wanted to play either way. Okay, yeah, that's alright. So discard the Spear Inspector because I think I still have one more in my hand. So yeah, Evison prevented Copter from dying from Hardness Lightning. That's a big thing. Now something like Fumigate would be pretty bad. Okay, he gets to kill Evison with a second Hardness Lightning because he had a spare energy because of the hub and something else. Because he had to spend 3 with the first Hardness, but he had a spare one because of the hub at least. To deal 4 to Evison. Okay, now this Inspector hits. Play to crew up the Choppa. I think I have a counter in my hand. I'm attacking, triggering the Copter, discarding the land. So now I can't play out another Evison, but I have a negate, which is pretty good. I think, yeah, that's a Weaver Lightning, which I think is okay. Send it and Kraken the clue. So if I would have had rebuffs in the deck, I probably would have cracked the clue first in response to Weaver, because then I'm getting him tapped out, so that I know there won't be any surprises there. Okay, so crewed up the Copter, bashing with both. Triggered the Copter thinking what to pitch Gideon, because the rest of my hand is more interactive and interesting. So I get him for 2, he's already down to 8 I think, because of all those small attacks. I end of turn Stasis Snare for the Weaver, he goes for negates. He had a tap land coming in this turn, so I negate back. He's Void Shattering back. He had from somewhere 1 leftover energy. I don't know, maybe because he drew a couple cards and had some 2 extra energy. So I didn't get to get rid of the Weaver with the Snare, which is not the tragedy, because luckily Weaver can't really kill anything. He can like block and part ways with something, but that's about it. So yeah, still chipping for 2, still keeping on looting. I think I have Shrivel and 2 Avacins in my hand. He's already down to 6. Oh no, that wasn't Avacin, so this time it was an Abbey. Decided to play it because then I can just end of turn, you know, make a token. But then with 6 mana up, he can Hulk and like kill something. That would be annoying. So it would be way too ballsy to tap out, but I decide to do it anyway, but not for the token, but for the Avacyn end of turn. Okay, so anticipating response, Weaver pings Inspector, because why not? The second spell would actually kill it. And sadly Avacyn resolved. Well, sadly for him, of course. So that's another copter, that's something to spare. With the loot, I have a Shrivel in my hands, so I'm feeling pretty good. Or I even had like a, yeah, I thought it was second color. Okay, his hand was just draw spells and nothing really, so that's the second Weaver that was too slow with his hand. Yep, so that was game and the match. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, check the social links at the channel, and I'll see you guys next time with more standard and modern. So check the previous videos. Until the next sale, goodbye folks.